Hey, how are you? My name's Chris Paget. Welcome to my world. I love watching movies. Ever since I was a little kid. Movies, television, you name it. I was in it. Like, involved heavily. You gotta have a lot of things to make a movie amazing, right? I mean, you gotta have your drink, you gotta have your food, your popcorn, you gotta have your panda pelt, and whatever, you know? A lot of things can make it good, but what really makes a movie amazing, right, is the actual movie. And so you pick a movie that's gonna be awesome, you know? Usually you pick a movie that's not gonna be in black and white, right? Because they talk really fast. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? When I was a kid, when I went to movies, we'd go to like Star Wars. It was amazing, right? Lightsabers, weird animals and creatures flying around in space. Could take you somewhere, so you'd have to think about the crazy life or whatever you were going through. My grandma was the same way. She used to watch all these old movies, Cary Grant, some of these actresses, Judy Garland, you name it. She loved them. And she'd get lost in the story, and it was incredible. You know what's weird? When you watch these old films, no matter how amazingly famous they were, you know what the reality is? They're all dead. And so are you and I one day, huh? We're going to be dead. Like, I wonder, what kind of a story is our life going to be about? Like what will people remember us for? Me, I hope it's more than just my amazing tiger shirt, my strikingly good looks, and my ability to eat handfuls of popcorn effortlessly. We'll see what happens. It's going to be pretty cool. We're all leaving a legacy. We're all like living in a story that will be remembered by somebody. I hope it's a good one.
All right, that simplifies it, doesn't it? Oh, get him on the phone.
And tell him what?
Quiet, Duffy. He's thinking.
Tell him if you reprieve Earl Williams, we'll support him for senator.
These were so popular when I was a kid. Apparently they're still popular. And who actually licks a sucker like this? This thing is like gigantic. Well, my daughter did the other day. We bought this for her. Anyway, you know, when I was thinking about death, I mean, what I realized is that most people don't want to think about death. They don't want to talk about death. We know it's there, we know it's coming, and so to avoid it, a lot of people entertain themselves. They entertain themselves until they die. Then they don't have to think about it. They don't have to think about their mortality. Some people, they'll try all sorts of different things, entertain themselves 1,000 different ways so that they just don't have to think about that one haunting question, like what happens when I die? And, you know, entertainment is fun. We do it because it's enjoyable. It feels good. It's instant gratification. We don't have to wait for any type of big answer. We can just experience this moment. It feels good. But we live that way our whole life. We're going to miss out on what it means to really live. And anyway, you know, this is going to give you cavities anyways. So.
About 4 months, I guess. Seems like yesterday to me.
Maybe it was yesterday, Hildy.
So while a lot of people entertain themselves to death, there's a whole other group of people that are going to look death right in the eye and they're going to defy it. They're going to just say, you know what, I don't care if you're there. I'm going to live life to the full. I mean, look at me now. I'm defying death. I'm eating a wad of fiberglass, little insulation. Take that. Yeah. Also, right now, I'm defying fashion. My full shirt is actually acting like a half shirt. That's how I roll. A lot of people do that with death, actually. They just stare it in the eye and they don't even care. They're like willing to do whatever it takes to show death that they're not afraid. They'll parachute out of buildings. They'll jump out of planes and float to the ground, which is also called parachuting. They'll go into cannons and have themselves shot out of it. I mean, I don't really think people actually do that. I saw it in a circus, I think, or on television. I believe everything I see on television, which is why you should believe me now. The point is that death, it's coming. And a lot of people, even though they want to say, I don't even care about you, death, I'll do anything, extreme sports, I'm not afraid. Guess what happens? They're all going to die. You and I are going to die one day. And you can defy it all you want, but it's still coming for us. And in the end, it's kind of this big question, should I live differently because death is coming? You know, what happens when I do die?
And tomorrow morning, Earl Williams dies, makes a sucker out of us. Well, what are you going to do?
Get the governor on the phone.
I can't.
Why not?
Well, a lot of people will try to entertain themselves to avoid looking at the reality of their mortality, and other people will try to defy it by doing all sorts of extreme things. I think there's a third category, and that's a group of people that are so paralyzed with fear because of death that they just kind of stop living. you know? They don't know how to process it. It's just too intense. Some people become recluse, shut-ins, extreme phobias and neurotic tendencies. They just don't know how to cope with the reality of death. They're afraid of the smallest germs, the possibility of any type of colds, and so they do everything they can to protect themselves from their mortality. They're so safe, they're so afraid, they don't even know how to live. And I think we have to almost kind of take that head on. And we gotta be strong almost. And how do we counter that kind of fear? It's gotta be love. Like that's the kind of thing that we're looking for, something that's that radical. This was an animal. It was alive and it was coming after me and I destroyed it. Made it into a pelt. And I think that's what we have to do when it comes to fear. Destroy it and make it into a pelt and put it on our lap. Which is kind of weird.
Why not?
Because we've been a Democratic paper for over 20 years.
All right, after we get the reprieve, we'll be Democratic again.
Oh,
Go on, Duffy. Get
Yes,
going.
death
Remember the morning
is coming, but we don't have to be paralyzed with fear anymore because we have hope. Hope in Jesus Christ. While it's true, through one man's sin, death enters the world. But through one man's complete gift of self, back to the Father and the love of the Holy Spirit, we are born again.
Well, would you mind if I sat down?
There's been a lamp burning in the window for you, honey. Here.
Oh, I jumped out that window a long time ago, Walter. Oh, may I have one of those?